in general, when I look at the overall economy here, look, it's all about capital. Where's it flowing to, Daniel, right? So where's the capital flowing to? We saw it flow into growth stocks for so many years, and then really we saw technology early on during COVID, and then we saw the rebound, the cyclicals, and the reopen trade, and some of those that come back a little bit, right? I still think that, airlines, just buy any airline, you'd be fine. I mean, the reason why they haven't surged past all-time highs like cruises and some hotels is because the international presence, and now that's all opening up. Everything's opening up everywhere. So they're going to see profits explode. People are ordering planes like crazy. That whole entire cycle is as big as people are saying it, times it by 3. That's how big the whole entire airline cycle is. I mean, in terms of supplies and parts, and going to go nuts. And so now you saw a little bit of a slowdown but I saw something interesting where money's flowing into now. It's flowing into areas that are seeing the biggest CAPEX spending. The most money being put into facilities, sectors, improving businesses, and that's materials, industrials, and real estate. And notice the numbers that came out. You notice that home builders starting to trend upward. It's industrials, materials. Goldman Sachs just came out this week, said GE is their top idea. GE, holy cow. Don't get me started on GE. I know, don't listen to me ever for GE ever. Don't get me started. Okay, I admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong on GE. I get it. I still get shit for that. I've been right on. Been doing great, but everyone's like, GE. I get it. All right. But anyway, GE top idea. Morgan Stanley just raised their target on Textron. I think you probably know that target better than me, but I think they doubled the price target or something. So you're seeing money, and also Bank of America reported too, which tracks these flows. You're seeing a lot of money push into materials, industrials, and real estate. Probably a good trading opportunity over the next few months, because that's what we want to do, is get ahead of the markets and where's the money flowing into. And there you go. Like, those are the ideas that I'm seeing from my sources, and also really good sources that track trillions and trillions of dollars. And now you're seeing these upgrades take place too. So a lot of people believe, and Textron does have the component for airlines. Anything airlines and manufacture with airlines, you're seeing UAL announce a huge order. These guys have to announce massive, massive orders. Demand is through the roof. You're going to see airline prices surge. It's just the perfect environment right now with everything opening up. And it's probably going to be the next 18 months. You'll probably make a lot of money. Even airlines are still 20% off their highs. I think they're going to surge to new all-time highs pretty soon.
Yeah, that should help Dollar Stock Club. We have Jets, the ETF for the airlines in there from Frank Holmes. Speaking of the order from United Airlines, so the note, I thought this was a misprint. This is just hilarious. So United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby was on CNBC yesterday. And I was looking at the news feed. The company will purchase 1 new aircraft every 3 days until 2023. It's July 2021 right now. That puts it in perspective. You're buying a new airplane every 3 days until 2023. Then what do? Do they just depreciate them and then sell them to Allegiant Airline? Is that how they get so cheap flights and stuff? By the way, I love Allegiant Airline.
Spirit or whatever, but or JetBlue. JetBlue, if people fly JetBlue, they still have it was so great because when they first came out, it was like the newest airline. And they came with DirecTV. Like, you can watch TV.
That's East Coast, right? JetBlue? That's East Coast.
You're like, you can watch TV. So I read those planes, they're still the same. They never updated their fleet. So that's, Dave, that's why I really like Delta, because Delta is, and everyone has their favorite airlines depending on where you are. I like Delta because their hub is in Atlanta, which is right here. So, I'm flying the newest planes with all new technology, all Wi-Fi, everything great. But that might not be the case in other places where people might hate Delta. But for me, they had the newest fleet. But now you have to see all these other people, all these other companies, airliners, they're upgrading their fleets. They have to with all the new technologies. And they put that on hold. And you saw that with Boeing, right? With all the MAX. And the MAX is the greatest plane ever in terms of fuel efficiency, faster. It's unbelievable, right? Of course, they had problems. But now that everything's taken care of, hopefully, and we don't see any more crashes, God forbid, you're going to see these things fly off shelves. So everyone, outside of Delta is going to be ordering planes. I mean, there was I think there was 5,500 orders for planes, and this was, I think, in 2019 when we were into the industry. We recommended Boeing before the crash and everything, and got out of it. But all that demand has to come back, because we're going to see more demand than there was in 2019, which we're seeing right now, and everything is opened up even farther. So it is pretty crazy. It is, I think we have to revisit some of our suppliers. Daniel, which we had a really cool supplier, which we did very well on. I'm not going to mention the name because we're going to research him. It might be a good name again, that we got out of again, because pre-COVID. I just see when it comes to airline, and I was able to visit the Boeing facility in Everett, Washington. You got to see it. It's basically assembly line for massive jets. So they have like 6, 7, 8 in them at the same time. And it's, bigger than Disneyland, bigger than Singapore, right? This is one of the biggest facilities, I think, in the world. Unbelievable. But just seeing how everybody operates and the part makers and all the demand for the planes, this was, I think, 2018, maybe 17, I went there. That's when we came back and I was like, listen, these supply makers are going to profits are going to explode. And it did. It worked out. That's going to happen again. I think it's time to look at a lot of these suppliers because there's literally more than 100 companies that supply or have parts that go into a jet. Much more than 100. So 100 publicly traded companies that you can look at. And just finding those gems, you could probably pick any one because you're going to see huge demand. But it is pretty cool, like seeing that demand coming back with airlines. And I'm going to be traveling pretty soon to Saratoga, opening day. And I booked my flight already. So hopefully there's no delays or no craziness. But I'll report to you guys on what I'm seeing because everyone's reporting to me right now, Daniel, is saying that everything's really, really crowded. It's really crazy. And it's even resulting in some delays.
Real quick on the trip to Saratoga. Mm-hmm. Don't get on YouTube and don't be on YouTube or Twitter for the wrong reasons. Don't be getting in fights with airline attendants and customers. And don't get hauled off. If you get arrested, get a good mugshot. We are at headline risk here because it is kind of boring in the markets right now. I mean, we could always talk volatility in Bitcoin. We could always pull a few headlines, which we try to do to entertain you and educate you. The airlines are the funniest things because I saw that one headline was they're going to start training flight attendants on self-defense again. I guess they once did that and then took it away.
The anger, man, there's a lot of anger.
So instead of, and everything's being blamed on, well, people were cooped up and now they're getting back out. And I guess, humans are just wild beasts and they don't know how to behave in public. The mask thing is still pissing everybody off, which is hilarious. And now you're going to have to quit flying altogether because they've actually talked about getting rid of alcohol sales to combat bad behavior.
Like that has to do with bad behavior?
Yeah. They don't even serve you,
in that
quick.
case, they should allow
anyway,
people
I'm having fun with that.
Yeah, they should allow people to smoke weed. They'll calm them down. It's better, right? I mean, no alcohol, but weed for everybody, right?
Hey,
marijuana.
To get something beneficial out of this, CAPEX, on the CAPEX theme. Mm-hmm. One of the most disciplined areas of CAPEX right now lately have been in the oil sector. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Of course.
So you know this much better than I do with contacts and experience, but it's just commodities are known for boom and bust, right? Because when prices skyrocket of your commodity, whether it be oil, gold, whatever, you borrow, you leverage, you produce as much as you can. Well, you do that and you get crushed and then your stock plummets and all that, and it's the cycle repeat. So this is from oilprice.com. This is just a few days ago. Free cash flow is set to hit a record-breaking $348 billion in 2021 for the big public world's oil firms, okay? If you look at, according to Reuters, U.S. shale producers are going to make a combined $30 billion in free cash flow in 2021. Frank, why is that important? Because free cash flow is money left over at the end of the day after you pay for everything. Mm-hmm. So that's like keeping a giant mattress, Scrooge McDuck style, of just tons of money. How long will this last? Who knows? But it's going to last a little bit longer because oil prices are in the 70s now. I feel like they're going to 100, maybe not in a straight line, but you have a lot of tailwinds going there. And you still have demand coming back. Mm. And OPEC meets tomorrow. OPEC is the international cartel that controls a lot of production. They're going to come out with an announcement tomorrow, July 1st. We'll see what they do. But the whole point of this kind of fun tangent is this is just headline risk going forward. So until earnings season kicks off in a few weeks for the second quarter, just be prepared for some volatility around the Delta variant and COVID, airlines going up and down with travel, places threatening to shut down or reopen. You mentioned international travel is opening up, but there's still some sectors that are, or some areas. Tokyo, I think, and Japan are looking at being more strict and all that kind of stuff.
Canada, I joke, it's easy to get into North Korea than it is to Canada right now. It's insane. I mean, they're insane over there. They're insane. They have no idea what's going on. I feel so bad. And everyone I say is they email me, they're like, and they tell me this story of how bad it is over there. And I hate it because I love Canada. I love going there.
Yeah, I know somebody trying to get up to Canada fairly recently, and they're going to be gone at least 2 months because, you got a quarantine on each side. Anyway.
It's crazy.
But oil, I still think the oil producers have a lot of room to the upside here. I've missed it. We haven't recommended anything to directly benefit that. We've been talking about it here, but so that's a frustrating thing. But just pay attention to that. And there's a lot of, there's always reason to be uncertain. So you should be long right now, be hedged a little bit, but just know that some crazy headlines are coming your way in the next few weeks and prepare for it now so you're not a knee-jerk reaction.